Our story starts with Massimo Torricelli, whose father was the powerful leader of a criminal organization in Sicily. One day, while his father was having business meetings about refusing to participate in human trafficking, tragedy struck. As Massimo watched a beautiful woman on the beach through binoculars, a sniper's bullet suddenly killed his father and wounded Massimo himself. This terrible moment changed everything for the young man, and would shape his entire future. Several years after his father's death, Massimo became the new boss of the family business. He had to deal with many problems, including dishonest bankers who had given him bad investment advice and caused him to lose lots of money. Using his power and influence, Massimo forced these bankers to return his money by threatening to expose their dirty secrets. This showed everyone that the new boss was just as dangerous as his father had been. Meanwhile, in New York City, a young woman named Laura Beale worked at a fancy hotel. She was smart and good at her job, always managing to avoid trouble when her coworkers tried to blame her for problems. However, Laura's personal life was very sad. She lived with her boyfriend Martin, who was cold and uninterested in her. Even though Laura tried to be loving and affectionate, Martin ignored her completely and made her feel unwanted and unloved. For Laura's birthday, Martin decided to take her on a vacation to Sicily, Italy. Unfortunately, even during this special trip, Martin continued to treat Laura badly. He didn't prepare any thoughtful gifts for her birthday and remained selfish and rude. Laura felt more lonely than ever, especially when she complained to her friend about how unhappy she was with Martin. During their stay in Sicily, something strange happened. Laura briefly encountered a mysterious dark-haired man who seemed to be watching her. This man was Uoli Massimo, who had been secretly following her. When Laura turned around to look for him again, he had vanished like a ghost, hiding behind bushes and fences. She had no idea that this brief meeting would completely change her life forever. After another fight with Martin, Laura decided to take a walk alone through the old streets of Sicily. In a quiet alley, she met the same mysterious man from before, Massimo. The next thing Laura knew, she woke up the following morning in a completely unfamiliar place. She was trapped in a locked room with no way to escape, not even able to use a bathroom all day long. When evening came, Laura's prison door finally opened, and she discovered she was inside an ancient, beautiful castle. As she wandered through the long hallways and elegant rooms, she made a shocking discovery in the main hall. There was a large painting of herself hanging on the wall. She couldn't understand how this was possible since she had never been to this place before. Suddenly, Massimo appeared behind Laura and began to explain the unbelievable truth. He told her that during the shooting that killed his father, he had experienced a powerful vision of her face. This vision of Laura had somehow given him the strength to survive his injuries and continue living. From that moment on, Massimo had spent years searching the world for this mysterious woman from his vision. Massimo revealed his unusual plan to Laura. He would keep her as his prisoner for exactly 1 year, 365 days. During this time, he would do everything possible to make her fall in love with him. He promised that if she didn't love him by the end of the year, he would set her free and let her return to her old life. To prove that Martin was worthless, Massimo showed Laura photographs of her boyfriend cheating on her with other women. Although Laura was upset to see proof of Martin's betrayal, she was much more concerned about being kidnapped and held against her will. She tried several times to escape from the castle, but Massimo's power and wealth made it impossible. Even when she ran to the police for help, they recognized Massimo and walked away, too afraid to get involved with such a dangerous criminal. As days passed, Laura began to understand more about Massimo's life as a mafia boss. She witnessed him dealing with enemies and traitors in violent ways. Once, she even saw him punish a man who had stolen from his organization and sold girls to brothels. These frightening experiences made Laura realize just how dangerous her captor really was. Despite the scary situations, Massimo also showed Laura a world of incredible luxury she had never experienced. He took her shopping for expensive designer clothes and jewelry, bought her anything she wanted, and treated her like a princess. However, he also controlled every aspect of her life, even following her into dressing rooms and never letting her have real privacy. Massimo took Laura on a business trip to Rome, where he had important meetings with other criminal families. Laura tried to embarrass him by acting wildly in public, even jumping into fountains. Back at their hotel, Massimo became frustrated with Laura's resistance to his advances and used extreme methods to try to seduce her, though Laura remained unimpressed by his efforts. At a nightclub in Rome, Laura's rebellious behavior got her into serious trouble with members of another powerful Mafia family. They mistook her for a prostitute and treated her badly, which forced Massimo to defend her honor. This incident nearly started a war between the two criminal organizations and showed Laura how dangerous it was to be connected to Massimo's world. During an argument on Massimo's luxury yacht, Laura accidentally fell into the ocean. When Massimo rescued her from the water, Laura felt genuinely grateful and began to see him differently. For the first time, she allowed herself to be intimate with him, and their relationship became romantic and passionate. This marked the beginning of Laura's actual feelings for her captor. At an elegant ball, Laura met Anna, Massimo's former girlfriend who was extremely jealous and angry about being replaced. Anna openly threatened to destroy Laura and get revenge on both of them. Massimo took these threats seriously because he knew how dangerous Anna could be when motivated by jealousy and hatred. Worried about Anna's threats, Massimo decided to send Laura back to her home country of Poland for her own safety. Laura reunited with her best friend Olga and told her the entire incredible story of what had happened. The two women celebrated Laura's return by going to spas and nightclubs, trying to return to normal life. When Martin learned that Laura had returned, he tried to win her back and even followed her home. However, he found Massimo already there waiting. Seeing the powerful and dangerous Sicilian man, Martin quickly gave up and left without a fight, realizing he had no chance against such a formidable opponent. Laura confronted Massimo about leaving her in Poland without explanation and disappearing without contact. Instead of arguing, Massimo showed his feelings through actions, and Laura finally admitted that she had fallen in love with him and didn't want to wait the full 365 days. The next morning, she woke up wearing a beautiful engagement ring, and when Massimo proposed marriage, she happily accepted. The couple began planning their wedding in Sicily and went to meet Laura's parents, who surprisingly liked Massimo despite not knowing about his criminal activities. During the wedding preparations, Laura began feeling unwell, and her friend Olga realized that Laura was pregnant. Olga encouraged Laura to tell Massimo about the baby as soon as possible. Just as Laura was calling Massimo to share the wonderful news about her pregnancy, disaster struck. Enemies of Massimo's family had planned an attack on Laura's car as it drove through a tunnel. Massimo's assistant Mario tried to warn his boss, but he couldn't get through because Massimo was talking to Laura. The attack happened exactly as planned, and Mario arrived too late to prevent it. Although Laura survived the car accident, she tragically lost her unborn baby. She never got the chance to tell Massimo about the pregnancy before the crash. Despite this horrible loss, Massimo was simply grateful that Laura was alive, and they decided to continue with their wedding plans. Massimo and Laura were married in a beautiful church ceremony in Sicily. The celebration was elegant and joyful, and both seemed happy despite the recent tragedy. After the wedding, they began their married life together, enjoying luxury activities like golf, horseback riding, and relaxing by the pool at their magnificent estate. During this time, Laura's best friend Olga began a passionate romance with Domenico, one of Massimo's men. Their relationship was even more adventurous and playful than Massimo and Laura's, adding humor and lightness to the story. Eventually, Domenico proposed to Olga during Christmas celebrations. As months passed, Laura began feeling bored and frustrated with her new life. Although she lived in luxury, she felt like Massimo treated her more like a beautiful possession than an equal partner. She wanted to have her own career and independence, not just be a mafia wife who waited around for her husband to come home from dangerous business. Understanding Laura's feelings, Massimo gave her an amazing Christmas present, her own fashion company to run. This gift allowed Laura to have the independence and career she craved, while still being part of his world. Laura was so grateful for this thoughtful gesture that their relationship became more passionate than ever before. Around this time, Laura met Nacho, an incredibly handsome young man who worked as a gardener on Massimo's estate. Laura was immediately attracted to Nacho's good looks and kind personality, though she tried to control her feelings since she was married. Nacho seemed like a Greek god compared to the dangerous men usually in Massimo's world. During a conversation in bed, Massimo casually mentioned that he had a brother he had never told Laura about. This revelation made Laura angry because she felt her husband was still keeping important secrets from her. Their argument showed that trust issues still existed in their relationship despite their love for each other. At another elegant ball, Laura's parents attended as guests. Laura was still upset with Massimo, and showed her displeasure through her cold behavior toward him. During the evening, Laura noticed Massimo on a balcony with another woman, and followed them secretly. To her horror, she saw what appeared to be her husband being intimate with this other woman. Heartbroken and confused by what she thought was Massimo's betrayal, Laura ran away from the ball. Nacho found her crying in the garden and offered to help her escape. Without thinking clearly, Laura asked him to take her away from everything. Nacho drove her to his own home, and Laura threw away her phone so no one could track her location. Nacho took Laura to a beautiful island where she began to recover from her emotional pain. He gave her his sister's clothes and took care of her needs, showing her a gentler kind of life than she had known with Massimo. Laura learned that Nacho's sister was happily married and pregnant, which brought back painful memories of her own lost pregnancy. After hearing Laura's message saying she was fine but not explaining where she was, Laura's mother became very worried. She confronted Massimo angrily and even slapped him, blaming him for Laura's disappearance. Massimo was confused because he genuinely didn't understand what had happened or why Laura had left him. As Laura spent more time with Nacho on the peaceful island, she began developing real feelings for him. They watched movies together, went to the beach, and shared romantic moments. Laura found herself attracted to Nacho's gentle, caring nature, which was so different from Massimo's intense and controlling personality. Gradually, Laura discovered that Nacho was not just a simple gardener. When strangers tried to attack her, Nacho defended her skillfully, revealing that he had fighting skills and connections to dangerous people. He admitted to having secrets, but refused to share them immediately, keeping Laura curious about his real identity. Meanwhile, Massimo was desperately searching for his missing wife. He discovered that his ex-girlfriend Anna was involved in Laura's disappearance and threatened to punish her severely. Through his investigation, he learned that Laura was staying with Nacho on an island, and he realized that getting her back would be very difficult. Eventually, Nacho revealed his biggest secret to Laura. His real name was Marcelo Matos, and he was the son of the head of a rival mafia family that was enemies with Massimo's organization. This explained his wealth, his fighting skills, and why he had been working undercover as a gardener in Massimo's home. A meeting was arranged between the two rival mafia families, with both Massimo and Nacho's father, Matos, present. Matos revealed that his family had been responsible for the car accident that caused Laura to lose her baby. He had orchestrated Laura's kidnapping through Nacho as revenge against Massimo for not respecting territorial boundaries between their organizations. During this tense meeting, the truth about Laura's supposed sighting of Massimo's betrayal was revealed. Massimo had an evil twin brother named Adriano, who looked exactly like him. It was Adriano, not Massimo, whom Laura had seen with another woman at the ball. Adriano was plotting with Anna to destroy Massimo and take over the family business. The story reached its climax when Adriano and Anna kidnapped Laura to use her as a weapon against Massimo. Both Massimo and Nacho Marcelo joined forces to rescue her, putting aside their family rivalry to save the woman they both loved. In the final confrontation, Adriano threatened Laura with a gun while revealing the truth about her lost pregnancy to Massimo. In the dramatic ending, Laura managed to break free from Adriano and run to Massimo's arms. Anna tried to shoot Laura, but only wounded her in the side. Both Anna and Adriano were killed for their betrayal and evil schemes. Although Nacho had the opportunity to kill Massimo and end their family feud, he chose mercy and walked away, leaving Massimo to care for his wounded wife. This complex tale explores themes of obsessive love, the power of destiny, the corruption of wealth and power, and the possibility of redemption through love. It shows how people can find love in the most unexpected circumstances, even when that love begins with violence and control. The story also examines how jealousy and revenge can destroy people, while genuine love and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds.